drinking my coffee this morning. Ah, that's better. Hey YouTube, Kinsey at the Flocking Farm. Today I wanted to sit down to chit-chat with you, get to know you a little bit better. Talk about specifically why did we cancel our manufactured home, what actually is our current living situation, the pros and cons of building our house from scratch, and a whole home tour along the way. Let's get into today's video. Why did we cancel our manufactured home? So when we were looking into our different options, we looked at shop houses, we looked at yurts, we looked at manufactured homes, and we ended up building a stick-built home from scratch after a little bit of trial and error with the manufactured home. We did not want to wrap the land into any type of loan, which meant how we could develop the land was a little bit more limited because we couldn't get a construction loan. What ended up happening here is because of the type of loan that we needed to get, it was called a personal property loan because there wasn't really a lot of assets for the bank to hold on to. So it was a very specific type of loan. The bank needed 20% down of the entire value of the house in cash in order to lend on the home. The manufactured home needed 10% down. So luckily that counted towards our 20%, but we had to have a total of 20% saved on the home in cash to be able to qualify for the loan, to be able to then qualify to get the house on order. We were talking to our sales rep. The idea was, hey, prices are going to be going up. If you give us 10% cash today, we can lock in your price. Then in a year from now, we'll start the build. Everyone is buying manufactured homes. Believe it or not, it only takes them like a week to build a house start to finish. There's just that much demand that we were a year out. So luckily we had the 10% saved already that we could put towards the home. And then we begged and borrowed from family to make up that other 10%. And that's the first thing that we paid back. As all of this is happening, because we can't get a construction loan, we are then doing all of the land construction out of pocket. So we get our pad ready, we're ready to go, we're getting periodic updates along the way. A whole year has passed and they still have not started our build, which I understand because we bought at the height of COVID and at the height of lumber prices. So you're going to have some fluctuation with supply, with workforce, all of that good stuff. What ended up happening was they kept pushing our build out further and further and further. And then apparently the company that we bought the house through got a lumber surcharge from the manufacturer, which caused our house to go up $40,000. I know. That was more than the interest on the 15-year mortgage that we had secured. Now I know what you're thinking. We locked in the price, didn't we? Apparently not. My advice to you is if you're going to go down that road, make sure to very, very clearly read your contracts. There was actually a line in our contract that stated verbal contracts will not be honored. Now, I don't believe that it was a lumber surcharge because by this point in time, we bought at the height of lumber prices. Lumber prices has actually come down. I think more than likely it was probably an employment surcharge. I think that they were having to pay their employees more and more and more and able to actually be able to stay at the company and do the business. But this is all speculation. Long story short, we were swindled. Gosh, the amount of lies that I caught our sales rep in, we were able to, because they did add that surcharge, we had the option of either paying the surcharge and moving forward or taking everything back. I do wish that I had been able to take back a year plus of interest on that cash that we had put down, but that's neither here nor there. And we really prayed about it. Gosh, we just wanted something ready to move into. I kept feeling like for the exact same house, adding $40,000 onto it. At this point, we would have had to elongate the mortgage so that we would be able to make up the difference in the monthly payments. how could that possibly be serving God? How could us having to pay more for the exact same thing be what he wants us to do moving forward? So we really prayed about it, and we decided to cut our losses and take all the cash, that 20% of the whole home price that we had saved, and put it into building our home. Keep in mind, at this point in time, I am pregnant with Elisheva. So we were trying to figure out, how do we build this home and have it livable before she gets here? Because in the trailer, we didn't have any running water. I would pail in 5-gallon buckets of water to boil to do dishes, which I did not want to have to do with an infant. Fast forward, we decided to build the house from scratch. It was quite the challenge. However, Otto's dad is an engineer, so that helped us tremendously. And by golly, he did. He helped us build so much of this house. My dad came out for a couple of weeks, stayed with us, helped us get the house ready to move into. Had all sorts of help from friends and family. It was such an incredible experience. It was not without its hardships, I will say. But we're here, we're warm, just continuing to build as we go. As the house currently sits, the reason why you're looking at insulation is because we ran out of cash. In order to be able to start doing our finishing work, we really need to be able to finish the electric work. And we only have electric in one room of the house. So everything right now is being run off of just a couple of outlets. Gonna probably cost us $10,000-ish to be able to do the electric for the whole home. And the electric has to be done in order to get the plumbing and the electric inspected before we can start doing the finishing work. As of this point in time, the only thing that we owe is $15,000 to family, which needs to be paid off first before we continue doing any work. The home is livable, but we do need to get that paid back first and then start saving up so that we can continue to do the electrical work, so then we can eventually do the finishing work on the home. For the portion that we're in, all of the plumbing is in. But that is why you're currently looking at insulation. It's probably going to be like this for a good minute before we have the money to be able to finish getting the electric in and then start getting some of the finishing work done. The plan going into this next year is we still have a lot of the building supplies. We're only in the bottom level. There's a whole upper story that we just ran out of time before the harsh Idaho winter hit our way. So we built a hatch for the stairwell so that all of our heat didn't go up and out of the house. Come spring and summer, as it gets warmer, we're going to finish the upstairs as we have down here finished, so that we'll have double the space, and then eventually get into the electrical work and different things that we need done as well. One of the huge pros is we only owe $15,000. Not even now. I think we're at $14,000. We paid $1,000 off. We're almost completely debt-free in our home building journey. That's a huge plus. One of the big downsides was it was so much work. I did do the designing. I was mostly hands-off for the building because I was pretty pregnant by the time that we were building. So there wasn't a ton that I could do other than making sure everyone that came over was fed. Otto, bless his heart, he was working full-time, and then he would come home and work on the house full-time. And with the help of friends and family, we were able to at least get to the point where it was move-inable, where we could be warm for the winter with running water. I kid you not, having running water, it's incredible. Indoor plumbing is a marvel. But that's kind of how we ended up where we are, which I think that there's a lot to be said in loving and living in your home while it's imperfect, because honestly, I think all homes are always going to be imperfect. There's always going to be something that we're changing or adding or doing, some more than others. Obviously, a lot of love that has yet to be put into this house that I can't wait to do. But while we're in that in-between stage, I am loving having a home to live in, having a roof over my head, having it be warm, having a place where I can play my piano that's not freezing cold, because up until we moved into this house, it was in our shipping container. But living in that imperfect space, in that in-between time, and finding joy in that, would it be great to have this whole home finished? Absolutely. The stories, though, that I'm going to have for my kids about living in our tar paper shack, our little trailer, to moving into this home and building it along the process and really seeing our vision come to fruition, just priceless, being on this journey as it is. And hey, I'm warm and I have running water and I have a working shower and I could not be happier. It's been quite the process, and you know what? It has taken a lot of sacrifice. We lived in that rundown 19-foot long travel trailer for 5 years. And yet I still found a way to entertain because I love having people over. And now that we're actually in our home, we have people over all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it. And it's gonna be fun to see as we continue to build onto the home, how much easier and easier and easier things get. Like when I have a fully functioning oven. Life is good. That's just what I want to leave you with. Life is so good. We are so blessed to be in the position that we're in. I have my livestock. I have ducks, chickens, and guineas. I eventually want to get some equine on the homestead. I want to maybe get some sheep. I've got my dogs and my cats. There's so much room for us to grow. How blessed we are to live in the place that we do and that we even have this opportunity to build. Like that is something that I am thankful for every single day. If I have to look at insulation for the next 5 years, it will be 5 years well spent because I absolutely love the homestead that we're building, and I'm also loving taking you along that journey. So with all of that said, let's get into the current home tour so I can talk through a little bit what our plans are for this upcoming year and what our current layout looks like. Start with, that's our driveway. This is Betty, the storage unit I was talking about. I'm going to eventually paint the flocking farm on there. I've got the background done and the lab, but I haven't done anything else yet. And then as you look this way, that's the trailer. That's eventually going to move, but weather needs to change for that first. And then when you come through here, here's the house. This is the mud room. That's where you have the wood burning stove right now. Eventually the stove is going to go upstairs where we have our really beautiful Vermont castings Defiant. That's going to go up on the top. Now this is actually only half of the house. Because of how we developed the whole pad, the house is actually going to come out another 32 feet. Right now it's 32, it's 30 by 32 on double story. We're just in that bottom portion. This is the area up top. We don't have anything up there yet except construction supplies. That's hopefully what we're going to be moving into next year. So this whole southern wall is a temporary wall because we're eventually going to add on this direction. Okay. Now this is the mud room that we just entered through. Pay no mind, it definitely needs a good organization and declutter. Coming out of the mud room, this is where my workstation is. So this is all my Cricut supplies, and then that's my desk where I do all of my filming intros. And then next to that is my filing system. If you guys have not gotten on board with binder filing instead of file cabinets, highly recommend. So much easier to maintain. And then this is where the dining room is with the table I just refinished. Pretty fly, if you ask me. And then this is the living room. We added on the second couch because we have Bible study and movie nights, and we didn't have enough seating for everyone. So that's what it's currently looking like. This pack and play is usually not out here, but it was because she was playing in that earlier. Then I have my piano in the corner. And then this is the entertainment center. This is where I keep all of our movies, DVDs, etc. This corner I'm kind of thinking about redoing because my style is morphing less from farmhouse and more to kind of dark cottagecore-esque vibes. So, I don't know. So then looking this direction, this is the utility room / laundry room / our bedroom. And this is my laundry system, which I absolutely love. It works just flawlessly. Works so stinking well. I love it. Then we have the bed here. Elishava's taking a little nap. This is her crib and her dresser. Though I'm not in love with this whole crib idea. I love the aesthetic of the crib. I think it's so beautiful and it fits my kind of cottagecore vibes. The problem is though, she kind of gets stuck in these slats here. And I know you can put rails and whatnot on it, but in our small space, I'm almost thinking it would be better just to take the crib down and put it into Betty, the storage unit for now, and just have her pack and play live here since I use that more and I could use it as a crib. Kind of playing around with those ideas. My dresser, this is where all of my clothes fit, and anything else is hung here, and that's all the clothes that I own. I try to be fairly minimalistic, which is kind of an interesting contrast. Cottagecore is not very visually minimalistic. My organizational style is very visual. As a balance there, I might do a video if you're interested in me doing a video on organizational styles and minimalism and all that kind of stuff. Let me know. And then this is the kitchen area. So this is a full fridge, and then above that, this is our little freezer. I'm loving my open shelves. I think they're beautiful. I originally was wondering, we got these cabinets from neighbors that were redoing their kitchen. Initially, I was thinking about putting on actual doors, but I love the open cabinets. I think it's beautiful and all my stuff looks really pretty. A camping stove here. This is my beverage counter for making lotuses or mixed drinks. This is looking like it needs to get picked up, so much better. Then over here we have my miniature oven that you saw in the last video. And then this is all of our back stock food storage. And then that's the hatch that I was talking about earlier that we built so all the heat didn't just go out of the house up to that open upper portion. All of this is going to eventually be mudroom. The whole kitchen is going to move upstairs once we have it enclosed up there. That's eventually going to be the front door. This is that Vermont casting Defiant stove that I had mentioned earlier. Now what's super exciting is right across from the front door, we just got these doors on the bathroom yesterday. It's a full bath, so as kids or dogs or husband are dirty, they can take a shower and we can put the dirty clothes right down here before we go up to the main living quarters. And then we made a giant loop and we are back around to the living room area. Living, dining, kitchen is all going to be upstairs. Where this is currently, this whole area is going to stay office, and then probably workout area down here, but we'll see. And then we'll keep our bedroom down here as well. So, hi! Did you wake up from your nap? Well, that's going to have to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Flocking Farm. Would it be too much to ask for you to hit that subscribe button and or leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of today's video? If you have any content suggestions or questions, we would love to answer those for you. Until next time, don't be afraid to live out loud, and we'll catch you on that flippity flop.